Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Charla.
I'm Christy, and today we are talking about our top 10 favorites of 2022.
Woot woot! We've been asked what our favorite recipes are, and
It was hard.
it's very hard. And we did like 5 each. So if I had been able to do 10 and you had done 10, we would have had an easier time.
Probably, and we would have been here all day.
Yes.
I don't know, we can talk about freezer meals for a long time, you know?
Yeah, and we're gonna show you like how to make these meals, and so this video would have been way too long if we did 10 each. So and that's why we did it for like 2022, because 2023 is right around the corner.
There's new discoveries because there have been new contenders in the last couple of months.
Oh yeah.
That we're like, oh wow, this just knocked off my top 2, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're that good. And I think there was probably could have been some overlap, but we did choose different recipes. So we have 10 recipes for you today that are our favorites.
There's one on Christy's list that would have for sure been on my list. But I was like, well, you know, I'll let Christy have it. So
That's so funny.
And both of us will talk about, it'll come up, I'm sure, some of the ones that were almost in contention for both of us. But here we are. We have narrowed it down. Very hard to do. We've narrowed it down to our top 5. So we're going to dive right in. And I think, do you want to do like 1 and 1?
Yeah, let's do 1 and 1.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
So my first. So these are in no particular order.
I might rank mine.
Okay, mine are in no particular order.
Oh, this is hard. Now I know why you did.
Right?
They are in no particular order.
No.
That's hard.
Yeah. We've got good recipes. Like, they're good, and it's hard to choose. I mean, this is a very good problem to have.
Yeah.
To not be able to pick your top out of all the recipes. So, the first one that I'm going to share with you is chicken in a mango cream sauce.
Had it last night.
It's amazing.
It was
right?
so good.
So good. And when we had ours the most recent time we made this is in our huge mega session. We'll put a link right there for that. We made like over 129.
128.
In the video I said 128, and then when I counted later I was like, oops. Anyway, it's 129. Whatever. Same kind of idea. We made this then, and our family's already eaten one of the 2 that we ended up with.
We had ours,
but ours didn't make it through everybody in the family. We have a large family, and there were some people that didn't get to eat it because it's just so popular. And you're trying to be nice and not take too much, but like, man, it's one of those ones that I'd kind of like to hide the leftovers of, or have when like not a lot of the kids are home, so that there are leftovers. Anyway, here we go, chicken and a mango cream sauce. So what you're gonna do is, for this recipe, you're actually going to pre-cook your chicken and cube it so that on the day you make it, it heats up so super fast. And you can just heat it in the skillet on the day you make it. So then you're gonna add some sliced purple onion, sliced green pepper, minced garlic, Madras curry paste, and some flour. Add that into your bag and then shake it, because then that curry paste and flour has a chance to coat the chicken and vegetables. And then you're gonna open your bag back up. You're gonna add some chicken broth, some mango tangerine juice, although the last time we made this we couldn't find that, so we used just mango juice. Some evaporated milk, mango chutneys, and a little bit of red pepper flakes. We always add more red pepper flakes on the day that we serve this for our family because we like spicier things. Then you're gonna get all of the excess air out of the bag and, you know, squish it around to mix, and then freeze it. On the day you make it, you just thaw it. It's quite a thin bag, so it thaws quickly, and then you just heat it in the skillet and serve it over a long noodle like a spaghetti. We always sprinkle ours with some Parmesan and some extra red pepper flakes.
I didn't think of the Parmesan.
Oh,
I have some leftovers.
So
I should have brought them.
You're gonna go home and have this today, aren't you?
Yeah, and then I am. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm gonna put Parmesan on and maybe a little extra red pepper flakes.
So it's just a really good one. And because the chicken's already cooked in it, It cooks up so fast.
Yeah,
So
it really
it's a
is
great,
fast.
busy weeknight meal.
Yeah.
And the recipe, I forgot to mention this, but the recipe is in the description below. So
you can have it too. Okay, this probably is my all-time favorite. When I said, in no particular order, I was kind of mistaken, but kind of the truth. This is the one we make the most because this is the ground beef stroganoff, and I will even make it.
This is the one where I said there was one on Christy's list that would have been on my list.
On yours.
This is the one.
Yeah, I even make this when we make it all the time in our mega sessions, but we eat it so quickly that I will still make it on off days where it's like, well, I have some ground beef, I got some mushroom soup and a few mushrooms, we're good to go, bam, we have it. And they always eat it. My family we can't get enough of this. There was a comment in a Facebook group a little while ago that said, I looked at that and it said, I thought it looked so unappetizing, but if Charlotte and Christy say it's good, I'll trust them. Yeah. And she made it and it blew her mind and how good it was.
It's so simple, but it's so delicious.
Yeah, and it is a little bit on the ugly side. But
it is ugly.
Totally still a good freezer meal.
Chicken and mango cream sauce, pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Very
this
pretty.
Ugly.
Very
ugly. But tastes good.
Yeah, right?
Never judge a book by its cover.
True. It's true. So this is super simple to make. Hold your horses. You're going to start at 1 pound of ground beef, half a cup of onion chopped, some garlic that's minced, 3/4 of a cup of mushrooms sliced. We are maybe a little heavy-handed with the mushrooms, and that's okay. Some Worcestershire sauce, some cream of mushroom soup, sour cream, parsley, and a dash of pepper. So you want to mix it around in your bag and seal it up after getting all the air out, because if you didn't know this, air is the enemy when it comes to freezer meals. That's what's going to cause your freezer burn. So you want to get as much out as you can. For the day of serving, you're going to thaw it. You can do this in the slow cooker, but it also really cooks up nicely in a skillet. And you want to add another half a cup of sour cream right when you go to serve it. It just gives it a little extra creaminess and a little extra zip. You're going to serve it on egg noodles that you've cooked off to the side, and it's that easy. You just enjoy. And this actually goes fairly far. We've taken it to friends of ours, and 2 families have, smaller portions of course, but this is a good one, and it does go a long way. Because
you're using an entire pack of egg noodles, it does stretch it. So even though it's only 1 pound of ground beef, or I use veggie ground beef in mine, but 1 pound of that, but it still stretches because of all the noodles.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And then you can have it with a side, like a side salad or some
nice little Caesar
or,
salad. That'd be really good with it. Yeah, for sure.
My second one is lasagna soup. This is a new-ish recipe, like within the last year we've invented this, and I love it. I was saying to Christy earlier that I've got 2 soups on my list of top 5, and I almost picked the curried butternut squash soup for my top 5. Anyway, obviously.
We'll call it an honorable mention.
Yes, an honorable mention is the curried butternut squash soup. We're going to put a video right there to an all winter soups video, and it is in there because it's just so good.
It is so good.
And there's a soup that Christy really likes in there. It's a carrot one, roasted carrot. It's so good. Anyway, soups. Now, Christy and I also have a difference of opinion on soups. I feel that soups can stand alone. They can be their own meal, and she feels like they need to have a carb.
They need to have a carb. Campbell's tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. It's the ultimate pairing.
That's fair. That one I can agree with you.
And so, or putting crackers in it, or having some cheese toast, or a soup and a sandwich. Like, there's a reason it's mentioned like that on a menu.
Okay, but when I go through this soup with you, like, this is a hearty soup.
It is a hearty soup, and it has a carb in it.
It does have a carb in it.
And so I would still consider having some garlic bread with it because it's a lasagna soup.
Yeah.
And to me,
that would kind of go, but...
And to me, I'll eat a soup and feel full, but then like an hour and a half later, I'm hungry again. It's like it wasn't satisfying to get me through to the next meal sometimes. And maybe that's just a me thing. I know it's not. I know you're out there.
I know. In the comments on our soup video, a lot of people agreed with Christy, I have to say. Some agreed with me, but a lot of people agreed with Christy.
Yeah. No, I like, and whether it's a baking powder biscuit or if a scone or a something, I like to have a little bit extra.
That's fair, but when you hear this soup, you're gonna know.
This one's hearty.
This one's hearty. So we've got a pound of either ground beef or ground Italian sausage. So
Italian sausage is better.
It is. And in mine, I use the spicy Italian sausage, so it's the best. So we've got our browned Italian sausage in there. We're gonna add some oregano, basil, a fair bit of garlic, some crushed red pepper flakes, salt and pepper, a bay leaf, some fennel seed. I always add more into the bags that are for our house than for Christy's because she's not as much a fan of the fennel. Some nutmeg. Do you see how this is so flavorful? Oh my goodness. Then a diced onion, 2 cans of fire roasted tomatoes, and a can of tomato paste. Now you can add 4 cups of chicken or beef broth now, or you can make a note on the bag to add them on the day that you go to cook this, because it takes up less room in your freezer because your bag's skinnier if you don't add it until later. So if freezer space is an issue, then just keep the pack of chicken broth or beef broth in your pantry and add it on the day that you cook it. When you go to cook this, you're going to thaw it and then you're gonna heat it up. You could do it in a crock pot, but I usually do mine on the stovetop in a big pot. And then towards the end of cooking, when it's all cooked and the flavors are all melded and lovely, then you're gonna add 5 broken lasagna noodles.
Thou shalt not put less than 5, and thou shalt not put more than 5.
We've experimented a lot with this
5
recipe.
is the right number.
5 is the right number.
And that's what's in the recipe now.
And then when you scoop this into bowls, you can top it with some Parmesan and ricotta. And that really makes it. So with all the cheesiness in there and the lasagna noodles and
the meat,
like it's a good one. It's hearty, and I'm probably especially thinking of this as a favorite because we're in Canada in the dead of winter.
Yes.
So it's like, it gives you that comfort food feel. And it's a bit of like a lazy lasagna. It's got those lasagna flavors.
Right.
Without the layering and the work.
Totally. It is a great soup. It is a really good soup. So you're going to laugh. My next 2 submissions for my top 5 are almost the same. And they're so much the same that I would confuse them. I couldn't remember which one I liked better. So even in our last mega meal session, we made both just so we could have them again because they are really good. But also, so I could just kind of, taste the difference. But I like them the same. In the end, I even cooked them on the same night we had company coming. And so I did the lemon mustard chicken and I did the lemon pepper chicken. So,
I think you should do these back to back just to show how similar
they are.
They're
so similar. And so maybe I just really like the lemon pepper. Okay, I'll do the lemon pepper chicken first and then I'll just launch right into the lemon mustard chicken. Start out with, we usually use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. They're a little more flavorful, but you can also do this with breasts. A 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 2 cloves of garlic, some lemon pepper, a little bit of cayenne, and then you just mix it all up. And that's it. It creates a marinade, so when you lay it flat to freeze, as it thaws, it sort of tenderizes and marinates your chicken, and then you can cook it on the stove, you can cook it in the oven, you can cook it in the barbecue. I did mine in the oven the last time, and they were awesome. The lemon mustard chicken is really similar. So again, same amount of chicken, your 8 to 10 chicken thighs, or you can do breasts. 1/2 cup of melted honey, some Dijon mustard, some lemon juice, although not as much as the lemon pepper chicken, And then, but even more lemon pepper. It's 2 teaspoons of lemon pepper, some Italian seasoning, and some cayenne. Again, mix them all around. You're still gonna have that marinating effect, and you can cook these in a skillet on the oven. You can even do them in your slow cooker, and they're also good for the barbecue too.
I feel like Christy should be a spokesperson for lemon pepper.
I saw recently in our Facebook group that somebody didn't know what lemon pepper was or couldn't get it.
Right. They were either from Australia or the UK.
I think she was in the UK and she couldn't get it. So somebody else in the Facebook group found her a recipe that she could make her own and sent it to her and posted the link. And she's like, well, here, just make your own. And so it's got lemon rind, pepper, and salt, and something else. I don't know, but it was really simple. And I thought, that was so lovely. This is the most helpful Facebook group you've ever seen in your life. The link is below. You should come be with us because it's so good.
Everyone's so sweet in there.
Yeah.
But yes, I feel like lemon pepper, one of my daughters loves lemon pepper. She loves the lemon pepper chicken. She actually likes both these chickens as well. Yeah. But she always has put lemon pepper on top of cheese on top of a cracker. Like that's her snack. And she's still to this day, like she's 21 now.
I'm going to tell my son that because if we go out for wings or if we make wings at home, he only ever wants lemon pepper. And one time we went to, it's like a brew house, and you could get drumsticks made in any wing flavor you wanted. And so he got the lemon pepper drumsticks. He was so excited to have a whole drumstick with the lemon pepper. It's actually
really good, like the lemon pepper on the cheese and cracker. Like it's got that
I'm gonna tell
tang
him that.
and zip, and it's a little not spicy, but like it's
some
got
zip.
kick. Yeah,
that's so funny. I'm gonna tell him that he can have that after school today.
So my next favorite, again not in any particular order, is the egg roll in a bowl.
Now, was that one of the new ones this year? I want to say it was later in our freezer meal experience versus early on.
Yeah, it's more than a year old, but it's not that old. We haven't been making it for that long. And it's just such a great discovery. And we have tweaked the recipe a lot because when we first were making it, it was too salty. And we've established how to fix that. It took 2 different things that we tried to fix it. But, now we have found the sweet spot for the egg roll in a bowl.
And it's so good. And you can freeze cabbage. Did you know you can freeze cabbage?
Yeah, and because we're using like the pre-done coleslaw bag for the cabbage, it's so easy to put together. This is so fast and better than fast to assemble. This is so fast on the day you cook it up. Like less than 10 minutes and dinner is on the table. And if you want, you can, make rice or something on the side, or this is one where we would have to take 2 bags out to feed our whole family, because a lot of our recipes are designed for 6 servings and this one's only designed for 4 servings. So this is definitely one that it's not super bulked up. So
it does make a nice lunch.
Yes.
If the kids aren't home and just my husband and I'll make this one and then he can have the rest for leftovers for work. It's such a nice one.
It's really good. So in your bag, you're going to do 1.5 pounds of ground pork or ground Italian sausage that's been browned. I used spicy Italian sausage, no surprise there. And then 1 cup of diced onion, 4 cloves of garlic, minced. We use the garlic from the jar for most recipes because it's a lot faster, especially when you're assembling a lot of meals at once. And then some shredded carrots, onion powder, red pepper flakes, ginger. We like the squeezy tube kind of ginger. Some low sodium soy sauce. That is key. You can't use regular soy sauce in this recipe or it does taste too salty. Then some sesame oil, olive oil or vegetable oil, and then you're gonna throw in a whole bag of the coleslaw mix, a 16-ounce bag, not one of those big giant Costco bags. And then that's it. You shake it up, take out the excess air, label it, stick it in your freezer, and on the day you go to make it, you just cook it up in a skillet 5 to 10 minutes.
Right?
That's it.
So easy.
And because it's a thin bag, it again thaws pretty quickly. So you can have supper on the table like
in minutes.
fast. Yeah. And if you do minute rice on the side, that's 5
Done.
minutes too, right?
Done.
So this is an awesome one.
Totally. So this one is a soup, and I usually make biscuits with it. I really do. I have a recipe from my mom's grandma that's baking powder biscuits, and she had a story about when she used to make them right in the flour bag. She just threw stuff in and made them so often and was so good at it. This was the right texture, and bam, she put them in the pan and made them. And so that was kind of a legend of my great grandmother.
And didn't she do it while she was playing cards or something?
That was my auntie that could do that. She would make them between hands of crib. So yes, these have been in the family for a long time. Maybe someday I'll post them because they really are good. And it's not about this recipe at all, but I always pair these together. So this is corn chowder, and it really is just delightful. We make this almost every time, and it is a big recipe. We make 6 bags of this, sometimes 8 bags.
Yeah, I think when we do it in the really, really, really large bowl, it makes 4 bags, and then we double.
And then we double. We do it twice.
8. Yeah.
Yeah. So we make 8 of these because it is that good.
It is that good. She is not lying.
Yeah.
It's one of those so with the lasagna soup, it can taste like it's from a restaurant. Like it has that kind of quality. Whereas the corn chowder, it isn't like that. It's like this homey.
It tastes like it's from home.
It tastes like it's from home.
It's good. It's good. And it's so easy to put together. You probably have everything for this in your pantry and freezer right now. So you can just make this.
And I love that you can do it in your slow cooker or on the stovetop, and it's one of those where if you go sledding or something in the winter and you come home and you scoop it out of your slow cooker, and it's just
it's always a hit. Okay, half an egg and chopped, a can of kernel corn, or you can use 15 ounces of frozen corn, creamed corn, evaporated milk, cream of mushroom soup, 2 cups of chicken broth. And I will say, even though you could eliminate the chicken broth and add it in at the time of, we almost always do the chicken broth right in it. These are big and saucy anyway. It's nice to have it where it's all done. You don't have to think about it. You can just thaw it and throw it in there and you're good. Honestly, the best part is the 2 slices of cooked and crumbled bacon.
We sometimes are a little over generous on the 2 slices rule.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
Bacon is one of those things you measure with your heart.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. And so you mix all these together. We do it in a giant bowl, and then we transfer it into our freezer bags because this one's a little tricky to do right in the freezer bag.
Yeah.
So you can put it into a jug and add all of your things in the freezer bag in the jug if you don't have a partner to help you hold it up. Or you can do it in the bowl and do the transfer. And like Charla said, you can do the stovetop, you can do the slow cooker. It's versatile. You just really need to cook it long enough to make sure the onions are a little bit tender and you're good to go.
Okay, so the next one that I love is the Dr. Pepper pulled pork. I had a hard time deciding between, there's this barbecue shredded chicken that we make. That
I do remember that on an early draft.
Yes.
Of your top 5.
It was when I was trying to decide what my top 5 were. That was on an early draft. But
what edged this out?
Well, it was the chicken thing, I think, because I was there's a lot of chicken recipes between the 2 of us, but the recipes are very similar in why I like them.
Fair. That's fair.
Now, they're totally different recipes. And vary. Pork, chicken, barbecue, Dr. Pepper, very different.
Right.
But they're similar in that when you go to serve them, Christy taught me how to make this amazing garlic mayo. It's very simple. It's mayo and lemon juice and garlic and salt and pepper, I think.
And that's it.
But it's amazing. Tastes amazing. And so whether we do the Dr. Pepper pulled pork or the barbecue shredded chicken.
You get to have the garlic mayo.
Yes, I do think so. Basically, the garlic mayo is in my top 5 here.
Oh, you're cute. That's so funny.
So you serve them both on buns, and you can get some really great buns.
I wish you ate beef because of the horseradish mayo. I make the exact same thing, but instead of garlic, I put horseradish in.
And I love horseradish because it's spicy.
So you could have it on your Yorkshire pudding with the gravy.
Without the beef, yeah. Because
Mm-hmm.
I like Yorkshire pudding, and I like gravy, but I don't eat beef. I know. I'm all kinds of strange. But
we love her.
So
It's
for
okay.
the buns, you also do coleslaw. Whether you're doing the barbecue shredded chicken or the Dr. Pepper pulled pork, it's the same thing. Like, it's a bun, garlic mayo, and the coleslaw.
And then the meat.
So it's different meat depending, but yeah. Anyway, it's the same way. It's the exact same recipe, except very different. So for the Dr. Pepper pulled pork, really fast to put together, you're going to have your pork shoulder or butt, 1 large onion, coarsely chopped, and then a can of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. If you don't like spicy things, then before you shred this, you can pull the peppers out, but you still want that adobo sauce flavor in there and the pepper flavor. So I'd still recommend at least using the adobo sauce, and then you can pull the peppers out later. 2 cans of Dr. Pepper, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a little bit of salt and pepper. That's it. You're gonna take out your excess air and freeze it. On the day that you cook it, you're gonna cook it up in your slow cooker. Now, we often do this one if we go camping, we bring our slow cooker, or because it does feed a crowd.
This feeds a crowd. This isn't, I know, I have one right now. I looked at it this morning and I thought, if I took this out now, we could eat it tomorrow. But who am I gonna, it's just us, it's just the 4 of us. So I would need to have company. So I think I'm gonna take it back up north with me.
Totally.
And that's a day that my
Feed
mom
a
will
crowd.
have to, cook for everybody, and I can feed the crowd from a freezer meal. And
Yeah. I also bring it sometimes on our ski trips. And then some of our kids are grown and gone. 2 of them are grown and gone. And so sometimes on Sunday we have, well, pretty much every Sunday we have family dinner where like they all come with their spouses or even friends, or like there's a house full. And so this
that's a good one.
can feed that, right? Especially because you've got the buns and the coleslaw and you kind of bulk it up that way, but it's bulked up enough on its own. It's a big one. Yeah. So I love this one, but mostly what I'm loving, and I'm not a huge meat person, so even the meats that I do eat, I don't have a lot of it.
no.
And so really what I'm eating
We'll
is a bun with coleslaw and garlic mayo.
We'll eat the chicken and mango in the cream sauce, and she'll have eaten it, and then you'll see all the little bits of chicken that she picked up.
It's true, and yet I say that I eat chicken.
Yeah, I've seen
In
you.
theory, like
You eat buffalo chicken dip.
I do.
Yeah, so she eats it. It is kind of funny.
I know.
It's funny.
All right, that's it. Dr. Pepper pulled pork. It's a good one. Give it a try.
It's a good one. It is really good. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to our next one too. So we have 2. No, I think we just have 1 this time. Yeah. Okay, this one knocked my socks off when we first had it. And I don't even know where you came up with this.
So I adapted it from a recipe. Now, it had to be very adapted.
Okay, this is seafood
Because
curry pasta. We're telling you up front.
I had to adapt it a lot to make it a freezer meal because it's from one of the Sandy Richard cookbooks. She has a series of cookbooks called Cooking for the Rush. She also has 7 kids, so I found that they worked for our large family. But she kind of, in a lot of ways, taught me to cook. Like, her cookbooks really revolutionized.
They have something
my cooking.
interesting in them that you might not think about, but it's when to start this to make it end at the same time as this.
Yeah.
So that all of your dishes in your dinner are ready at the same time. And it's something that you just kind of learn to do over time as you become a better cook.
But if you have no
if you've never been
background,
taught, Like,
Yeah.
I learned how to do that from my mom.
I had no idea how to do that.
Right.
Like, to do your side dishes so that, like your rice and your vegetables are ready at the same time as your protein.
Yeah.
Like, I had no concept.
Yeah.
And so those books really were a big part of why I learned to love cooking.
Sure.
And how I learned to cook. So I really attribute like a lot of my cooking skills to this woman who, I know, I've never met her. But
she's local. We should go
local-ish,
we should go find her.
And be like, do you want to be on our... She even had a cooking show for a while where she would go in and like revolutionize how they did dinner so that they weren't so overwhelmed. And yeah,
she's wonderful.
I know. And she even did it like for college students once because her son had moved out and was living with roommates. And so I don't remember what it was called, the cooking show. But anyway, she's great, and a lot of her recipes are amazing, and I own every single one of her cookbooks.
The one that has the clamato in the ground beef and then you put it on the salad.
Okay, so it's not ground beef. It can be strip loin, or chicken, and I do mine with chicken, of course.
Okay.
But yes, it's
so weird.
It's so weird, and I've never figured out how to freezerize it, so that's why we've never brought it to you. But it's like this teriyaki sauce chicken with like, it's got peppers and onions, like a few different, and there's like clamato. For those of you that are not familiar, in Canada, instead of Bloody Mary, we have a Caesar, which is made with clamato juice, so it's tomato and clam.
Juice and clam juice mixed together. So it's a lighter version of a tomato juice, and then you make the rest of it mostly like a Bloody Mary.
And it doesn't taste
much
fishy,
better.
For those of you that are, going like,
if you're allergic to clam or shellfish, don't have it. But yeah,
it doesn't taste fishy.
It's light and it's delightful, really.
And so you use spicy clamato juice in with this teriyaki sauce and the chicken and the vegetables and all the things, and then it gets weirder. You serve it warm over Caesar salad.
Yeah.
With like Caesar dressing and cold.
And it sounded so weird, but wow, was
so
it delicious.
Good. It's like one of my favorites. Now I'm craving that.
I think we need to like
have to.
We have a freezer full of meals.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just pause for a second here. One of the things I love about freezer meals is it's rejuvenated my love for cooking again.
Yes.
We like to cook, but when you are staring down the barrel of 4 p.m. every single day and having to think of things, you have no creativity. That's how you get in the rut. And
you start to dread it. You're dreading
the
cooking.
4 p.m. dinner dread.
And yes, totally. And your kids are complaining about...
Like Taco Tuesday was cute, but it's very 90s.
And, my kids still love tacos. We had it last night, but... We had our tacos last night.
You had three-way tacos.
Three-way tacos because I had freezer meal stuff, and we had ground chicken taco meat. We had regular taco meat, freezer-wise, and we had this salsa verde chicken that you do in the slow cooker and you shred and you have it on tacos.
So good.
And I had all of them, and we had like a lot of
all
kids
the
were going to be home last night, and so I thought, well, we'll run out if I just take out one bag of taco meat. But I have these 3 different kinds. We're just going to have it all. And then you still do the same fixings, but it was awesome. And they were super happy and whatever. But yes, when you get in that rut, it kind of sucks the joy
fun out of cooking. And once we had our freezer stacked a few times, I started to enjoy it again of, hey, we haven't had this in a long time. I'm going to make it from scratch. And it was a real joy to do.
Yeah, and because you don't have to cook anymore. Like once in a while, it's great to get to cook.
And when we do supper club, it's fun. It's fun. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Back to the seafood curry pasta.
I adapted it from a Sandy Richard recipe, and because of you'll hear when she's talking about it, because of the seafood in it and all of that, it did have to be adapted a fair bit for freezer cooking. But we've done it, we've perfected it, we've been doing it for years now.
And it's a little weird.
It's amazing.
Kind of like putting your teriyaki chicken on your Caesar salad. But it's delicious. So Okay, we're finally gonna get to this. Sorry for the meandering.
We're not that sorry. We're just chatting.
We're enjoying this today. We are enjoying ourselves today.
Who else gets to like spend time with their best friend, also neighbor, like doing these things and share with you what this has done for our lives and what it can do for you.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's awesome.
It really is.
So,
it really is.
Sorry.
Okay.
Now you can get to your seafood curry pasta.
Seafood curry pasta. Okay. You start out with scallops. Well, when I make this, you'll see how we do it. You put scallops in a bag and you put some deveined shrimp in the bag. I used to put it with the tail on, and it was hard to get the tail off and keep them frozen, so I didn't let them thaw and refreeze. So I got smarter and I just started buying tail off shrimp. They're a little bit smaller, but it saved me a heck of a lot of time and frustration. So we have scallops and we have shrimp, and we put those in their own bags, and there's a reason behind that, and we'll get to that. In your big bag, you're going to put an onion, thinly sliced mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, drained and chopped, a little bit of curry powder, some pineapple juice, cream of mushroom soup, and evaporated milk. You're going to mix that all together and then lay it flat to freeze. You're going to staple your scallops and your shrimp to the big bag. You're going to do it above the seal, otherwise you're going to have holes in your bag. You don't want to be doing that. And then the day that you go to serve this, you're going to thaw everything, and you're going to get the big bag bubbling, and then add your scallops. And in the meantime, you're going to cook up 12 ounces of pasta. Now, you can do the pasta and just undercook it a little bit and mix it right into the big bag, so this is all one meal super fast on the day of. But in this case, we've just done the bag and we're going to do the pasta separate. So now that your scallops have cooked and your pasta is almost done, you're going to throw in your shrimp. Shrimp only takes like 5 minutes to get pink, and once it's cooked, it's done. You stop, you incorporate your pasta, and then your mouth has a party.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And this is another one that I like to put Parmesan and red pepper flakes on top of, but it's so good.
And the pineapple gives it a little bit of zip, but so do those tomatoes, the sun-dried tomatoes. The reason we don't put the shrimp in is because it would be overcooked by the time you're done. And kind of the same thing for the scallops too, but some of the recipes we have that have acid in them cook. If you let it marinate too long, you'll have cooked scallops. It's like ceviche, where you're not using heat, you're using acid to cook the thing.
And so for the pineapple juice.
For the pineapple juice, we're erring on the side of caution and putting the scallops in the other side in its own bag. Now, at Charlotte's house, she's the only one who likes scallops.
It's true.
So I always give her a couple, and I just pop it in with the shrimp. And then I get extra scallops because we have this bag, and what are you going to do with all these scallops? I mean, so I got extra scallops. I'm not complaining. And this is easy, and it's beautiful, and you can serve it to people if they like seafood. Wow, what a good dish.
This is another one that I feel like when people hear that we do freezer meals, they think it's either one of two things. Either we're just doing meats and marinades, which is fine, and we did share some meats and marinades
I love the meats
today.
and marinades.
Or we're doing like casseroles, soups, and stews, and they get this impression that it's all like mushy and all that kind of stuff. Well, first, we've perfected ways to make sure that things are not mushy.
Yep.
Like Christy was saying with undercooking your pasta if you're going to be including it, or cooking the pasta on the day of.
Pro tip: if you need to have gluten-free noodles, please cook them on the day of. They don't freeze worth a darn.
Absolutely. Please do not.
We don't say it enough. It came up in our freezer meal or in our Facebook group, and we're like, ooh, we should mention that more often.
Definitely need to mention
girl.
that. Yeah, do not. We're sorry about that if you've wrecked your freezer meals by cooking gluten-free pasta and then freezing it.
There's trial and error.
Yeah.
She discovered that.
Yeah, because our son used to be gluten-free, so we figured that out a long time ago. And I haven't cooked gluten-free in so long that we don't mention it in our videos.
Yeah, we kind of forgot.
But now we know to mention it to you. Please don't cook gluten-free pasta ahead. Cook it on the day of. But yeah, we've just discovered over the years, like, freezer meals do not have to be just those two things. There's so much that they can be. They cannot be everything.
In a bowl. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And like seafood curry pasta, like,
And
this is
for the
amazing.
doubters out there, this isn't a heavy curry. I'm not a super curry lover. This is just enough,
it's a hint.
1.5 teaspoons, but this is a big dish. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just gives it that like yellow pop, and it's
it's lovely.
it's so nice.
It's so
It's
good.
a really, really good one. It's
Yeah.
it's definitely one. There's a few where when we do one of our big mega sessions and our freezer is like lovely and full and like it's so awesome to open and look at. It's true, right?
It's true. I've done it. I
Yeah.
just show people when they come over.
I know. You're like, do you want to see what I did this week? But some of them, like the ground beef stroganoff, the chicken and a mango cream sauce, the seafood curry, like at our house, those are the ones that get eaten
First.
right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're just so excited to have
And it's been
them.
a while since you've had them.
Yeah.
I don't know
Because
if
they
you
were
know
eaten
this.
at the beginning of the last
We
mega
have
sessions.
hundreds of recipes. We
Yes,
really
we
do.
do.
And so we do rotate through. We have obviously some favorites that we haven't ever really gotten, pardon me, we haven't ever really gotten sick of.
Yep.
You know,
And when we do those mega sessions, we try new recipes every time. And sometimes they fail, and we tell you.
Yeah.
Like,
The
if you're new
pork chops.
here, then you should know that we are honest. We tell you if something's not good. We do have fails because we're human.
And if we make it and it's a fail, it doesn't ever go up on the website. We're not going to subject you to that.
No. These are tried, tested, and true.
And to that end, we are still looking for really good freezer meal pork chop recipes.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so
next. This is your last one.
this is my last
And I
one.
think I'm done too.
Okay, so
Oh,
the
yeah.
last recipe in our 2022
Oh, it's a ringer, though.
favorites
It's a ringer.
is the hearty sausage and zucchini soup. It's another soup, but it's another like hearty. Like
It-
hearty, it's in the title.
It is. It is. It is something else to put on your bread.
Okay, so
It's better. You can eat it on its own and have the bread on the side. You don't have to dip your bread in it. It's good. It's so good.
okay,
I do give you a hard time about your soup.
just as I went to start this, I realized that it also has browned Italian sausage. I think this is the third recipe that I'm doing that is browned Italian sausage. And I have a pork recipe. Apparently I like pork. But that's not actually what I like about these recipes.
Isn't
so
that
it's
funny?
It's really funny. And so then again, maybe I should have chosen the barbecue shredded chicken. Whatever.
Do you know, we can still, at the end, rattle off some of our honorable mentions that almost made the cut. But, you know, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so
It's good.
in your bag, you're gonna have your ground Italian sausage that's browned. Of course, I use the spicy
I use the
kind.
mild. My family isn't as spicy as Charlotte's.
That's true. Then you're gonna add a jar of pasta sauce, and this is another way you can kind of change this recipe up because you can use your favorite pasta sauce. You can use a spicier one or one with a lot of vegetables or, you know, whatever you like. Then a can of white kidney beans that's been drained and rinsed, a cup of zucchini, a bunch of peeled and chopped carrots, a diced onion, some garlic, and then you can add 4 cups of chicken broth now, or you can add it on the day that you cook it, again, depending on how much freezer space you want to do. You're going to mix all that together, take the excess air out of the bag, and seal it. Then in a medium-sized freezer bag, which is a quart
It's a
size
quart
freezer
size.
bag, if you're in the United States, which a lot of you are.
A lot of
So-
our viewers are American.
Yes, and here they're labeled as medium and large.
Yeah,
And-
and it says how many liters it is
Right.
on there. So we're telling you the big one's a gallon and the medium size is a quart.
So in
People
your
ask.
quart size freezer bag, so you're gonna add a 1 cup of those tiny little pasta shells and not cooked. And the reason that you're gonna do that is because one of the things about freezer meals that's so great is that you don't have to go to the store so much. You're hardly ever going to the store, which saves you a lot of money because you're getting your groceries all at once. You can really do like one big shopping trip a month and then maybe once a week, if that, run in to get like your milk and a few
your produce
things.
items.
But mostly, you don't have to go to the grocery store. And so if you have things like making sure that every ingredient is there, so you have your pasta, it's stapled to the bag, it's going to be ready on the day you go to cook this, it just saves you time, money.
Yep.
You're not going to the store, all the things. So that's why we like to have it right there. Plus, we have the cooking instructions on the labels that are on the bag. So if one of our kids or husbands is cooking this up, then it's right there. They're not looking through the pantry trying to find these noodles. They're right there.
Yep.
So, on the day you go to cook it, you thaw it, you cook it up, and then towards the end of cooking, and again, this can be slow cooker or stovetop, you're just gonna stir in that pasta, let it cook up, and that's it. I also add, this is not gonna surprise you, red pepper flakes onto this as well. I like spicy. I can't help it.
It's true. And I've even started to add red pepper flakes to a lot more things since I've started hanging out with you more, and it's good.
Yeah. We want to know what your favorite recipes are, especially freezer meals, and bonus points if they're freezer meals 101 recipes.
Yeah, absolutely. And honorable mentions. Did you think of any? You shredded chicken, of course.
Yeah, the shredded barbecue chicken.
Marry me chicken for me.
Yes.
You were surprised that wasn't in my list.
Okay, so Candy's sausage rigatoni. I can't know with the sausage, but it's a pasta bake, and she's got a site called Make Ahead Meal Mom, and that is my favorite recipe from there. She's got a few really good recipes.
Yeah, she does.
She's got like a honey teriyaki chicken.
Oh,
like,
we haven't had that in a while.
Shred it and you put it on rice and make a rice bowl. Anyway, so you could check her out. But I really like that pasta bake, rigatoni. We've made it at least twice this year in our mega sessions. And then the other one I was thinking of is brand new or new-ish.
Oh, it didn't make the cut.
No, it didn't make the cut, but I should have. Is the one pot Cajun chicken pasta. Yeah.
Which I took out this morning for supper tonight.
I'm a little jealous.
I will bring leftovers over for you if I have any.
Okay. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, we're still trying to perfect exactly how much pasta we should be adding into it.
I'm gonna.
And that's why it didn't make my list.
It's not quite.
It's not quite there, but it's getting there, and so it'll make my 2023 list probably because we'll have perfected the recipe by then. But that is definitely an honorable mention to me, and for me, and actually all of the one pot. I'm gonna put a link right here to the one pot.
They're so good.
The one pot taco spaghetti is amazing. The one pot bolognese was really good.
Really good.
The other chicken one was good, it wasn't like.
It didn't blow our socks off.
Yeah.
Not quite like the Cajun chicken.
Yeah.
And the Cajun chicken, you'll see in the video, it has a really funny story too.
Yeah.
Because of the Cajun seasoning and the peppers and oh
Yeah,
my
all the
goodness, we
things.
had a day that day.
But I would say those are for me my honorable mentions this year. And I mean, there's so many more.
The Caesar chicken we really liked. And we haven't made it a lot.
We have not made it a lot this year.
That lady's chicken we do really like.
Love that.
And
chicken curry always.
And there is
sheet pan meals. The Cajun
sausage
root
and root vegetables. Oh my goodness.
That's so good.
So good.
And that was on my drafts. Like when I was trying to decide, that almost made the cut.
When that one comes up to on the top of my stack, I'm always excited. I don't dig through my stack very much. I'm very simplist. People ask, how do you organize your freezer? I don't. I just kind of see what's on top there, and if I like it, I'll take it. I'll go down like 3 or 4 sometimes, but
I dig through a little, but it depends. Sometimes,
or if I know what I want and I know what it looks like.
Yeah, I kind of decide based on like.
How many people am I feeding?
Cooker,
how much time do I have?
Yeah, exactly. But so the other one, that sheet pan, that is not my favorite because it has beef and I don't eat beef.
It's gonna be the meatballs.
Is the meatballs.
Oh my
kids are like requesting it all the time, and we're down to 1 bag left.
I only have 1 bag left. I've already made mine too.
Yeah, it's that's brand new this year. That's
yes,
a
it
new recipe
is.
this
And
year.
we did have to adapt it a little bit because it was too sweet.
It was too sweet. It had too much sugar, so we halved
Halved
the
it,
sugar,
the sugar.
and it's still great. So I mean, it definitely had too much before.
Yeah.
But
it's good.
That one is run through the test kitchen, and it has been given the gold star.
Gold star
Seal of
for
approval.
sure. And then I can't go without saying we have a beef fajita. And it's the one that has the canned tomatoes in it, which sounds really dumb, but that is my all-time favorite beef strip one. And I don't really know if it's not in the
the
club.
Mongolian beef is also
the
so
Mongolian
good. I
beef.
mean, I don't eat it, but my family loves it.
Yeah,
and it's so
it is
easy.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, so I guess we could have done a top 10, but we'd have been here all day. So
yeah, if we had showed you each of those recipes plus. And there's a chicken fajita sheet pan one that's, oh man.
It's another one that ends up looking kind of ugly.
We have good sheet pan recipes.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, to that end, we want to hear your favorites. And right there, we're going to put a link to a sheet pan video where you can come and cook along with us and make the meals. And we give you the free shopping list, prep list, printable labels, recipes, all the things. So all you need to do is get your groceries and then come and cook with us and end up with 10 meals
Absolutely.
for your freezer so that you can enjoy these. And they're so good.
They are so good. So cook with us, enjoy cooking again. And gosh, what a good year for 2022.
It was great. And we thank you guys because you were a huge part of why 2022 was so great for us.
It really was.
So happy cooking.